This is Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report. I wanted to just touch on an article that I shared in regards Saudi Arabia and the CIA and how they went out there and they gave what I believe is one of the bigger sponsors of terrorism this award for doing such a great job in counter-terrorism, which is just a joke if you look at the Wahhabism training and the funding that's coming out of there. I was watching a news report and they said, you know, why isn't it when they when they redo this new executive order, why won't they include Saudi Arabia and Qatar? And I've been critical of them too, because everybody knows how knee-deep Saudi Arabia is in financing terrorism and being a state sponsor of it. And they said because they have a central government, which is bull. And I get it that 5 out of the other 7 have basically no government whatsoever, but that's a bull crap reason, demagogue type reason from the right. With this guy, though, I put out that the Arab News came out and said that the Crown Prince accepted the award, the recognition that the kingdom is doing such a great job in anti-terrorism and their efforts, which are coming from their King Solomon over there. And it's just ironic with them winning this and award that basically says, oh, you guys are great at combating terrorism. It's what's staggering about it is the revelations that have come out, not just with 9/11. We all know about their involvement in 9/11. How about WikiLeaks and showing how the political establishment here in the United States basically has been kissing up to the butt, how they've been funneling money into our politics, how Saudi Arabia has been funding the Islamic State in a lot of the Islamic activities, extremist Islamic activities that are out there, and how they're a major supporter of the state, Islamic State, in this proxy war over in Syria. So you got bin Nayef. He came out and he vowed that Saudi Arabia would continue to fight terrorism, and how they've thwarted a number of attacks out there. Yeah, right. I mean, sure, they may have some because, you know, people like Iran, different sect of Muslim Islamic studies, ideologies. Yeah, they may have attacked them. I don't know if that was terroristic. Maybe in their eyes it is. The Crown Prince, though, here's the issue. To dismiss Saudi Arabia and their support for this Islamic State terrorism is what they need to do, but they're not doing it. This Crown Prince will not do it. How about just looking at their, you know, this article mentioned their human rights, and it mentioned the Wahhabist Islam that they've been spreading throughout the Middle East, which I said earlier. It just means that these guys are so hypocritical. And are we not, the United States, hypocritical too, and sending our CIA over there with this award? You know, if our government were actually out there fighting terrorism as we claim to be, this country, Saudi Arabia, would be on that list. We would not be selling, I think just a few months ago, last year, I forget, it was something like a $1.5 billion were approved in arms sales to Saudi Arabia from the United States. Canada, about the same amount of money. And we knew they were using them to go out and bomb the hell out of a lot of civilians indiscriminately in Yemen, using cluster bombs, which they're not supposed to be doing. We know about their ties to the Islamic State. It's common knowledge to the political powers that are out there. Of course, Washington just ignored all that. They ignored the human rights, just like the UN ignores the human rights when they put these idiots in charge of the human rights there at the UN. It's twisted. It's bizarre. Why are we doing this? Why would we give them this award? We're out there pretending that they're out there fighting terrorism, that we're out there fighting terrorism, yet we're arming and funding terrorists vis-a-vis through Saudi Arabia or other entities. Just turn a blind eye at the hypocrisy. Can you see it? And it was an interesting article out there touching on all these issues. And so I question you again. Hopefully this Saudi Arabia, this new executive order will include states like that sponsor terrorism, like Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia should be on that list. Qatar should be on this list. But I tell you what, they will not be on that list. It's all about politics, folks. Unfortunately, it's not about ensuring that these radicalized Islamists don't have a way back into the United States or into the United States. This has been Francesco Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.